We are back, Dan. Then, now, and maybe forever. Botch Wrestling Podcast. I'm Jim. That's Dan. Week off just to let some things kind of stir the pot and brew up. Um, Interesting trailers that have been being dropped for WWE recently. I don't know if you saw, but Busted Open invaded the Not Sam studio, and Bully Ray got right on top of Sam, and you could definitely see Sam Roberts get a little bit scared with Bully standing face to face to him. So check that out if you didn't. But he's just like, yeah, he's just standing right here, and he goes, "Oh, we're joined by the guy from Busted Open, Bubba Ray." But now this really feels like it's Bully Ray standing next to me, like type. So that was cool. Few quick hitters that I want to go through with you first. Do you want to start with the bad news, or we want to talk finances? Mike Rotunda, Bray Wyatt's father, is supposedly in hospice care. Sucks. Part of the IRS, absolute legend. Um, yeah, it just sucks. Just definitely sucks. But not this, counts for anything with everything going on and Bray and Bo having to deal with this again. But at least they got their time in the Hall of Fame before they passed, which a lot of people don't get that until after they pass, right? So unless they got the credit for what they brought to the business and everything that they deserve. But yeah, just shitty stuff. So hoping for the best, but off just absolutely terrible to hear what that family's going through again already in a few short years too. I think not great. So not great. Um, on other news, I wanted to bring this by you real quick and see your thoughts. We're ready. So Sports Info Wrestling basically compiled a injury list of everybody that's out right now. Right? Ready? So Ruka out, knee injury. Zoe Starks torn ACL. Bianca Belair broken fingers supposedly. Liv Morgan dislocated shoulder, which she had to have surgery on. Kevin Owens, obviously we all do the neck surgery. Chad Gable, rotator cuff injury. Seth Rollins, shoulder injury. And Gunther had the septotematoma and the orbital blowout. That's a crazy list. That's all. That's all stars. I mean, right? Like, that's all people that compete for a title on a regular basis. I want to double check this Bianca Belair thing real quick because this is the first time I'm hearing of this. So, I don't even remember. Like, hmm. Yeah, I guess. So this was as of October 9th. So what would that be? 3 weeks ago? Close to it? So Sportskeeda she's not been seen in the squared circle since WrestleMania 41 when she sustained a finger injury and leaving her out of action. And there's rumors she's going to return and join the Street Profits. You know, kind of like what I said all from the get go. Um, oh, and there's pictures. Oh, it's right at the knuckle. Oh, oh, gross, gross. Um, yeah, that's a crazy list, man. Like you, like when you see a lists like this, I don't know about you, but the first thought that I think of is maybe we don't do like a triple show in Idaho, like a triple house show in Idaho. Like maybe we give them an extra day off or something, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Like it's kind of like with the the other professional sports, right? Because obviously there's a lot of people in the world that don't want to think that professional wrestling is a sport. However, you know their bodies do take damage, as this list is evidence of. Um, or like find a way, I don't know, or find a way to have better training on the road. Like I don't know. It's just crazy. Like, because you got to think, Liv was shooting for the women's title or tag titles. KO probably would have been in the title match for some reason. Chad Gable probably would have had a shot at Dom for the IC title. Seth had the title. Gunther's obviously going to be pushed to a title because they love him. And Soul had the title. So it's like the only one on there that didn't have a title within the year that they got hurt is Zoe Stark. Everybody else had a title. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Well, hoping for fast recoveries. You know, the sport that we love. Obviously, it's not the kindest to the body, but we appreciate what they do. But that list is just downright awful. Let's get into the finances here, real quick, business guy.
Do it.
While you were away, did you see any of the reports of what people were reporting on the WWE deal with ESPN and what ESPN said back based on what's factually reported?
I thought I saw the only thing I saw, I think, was a headline, just that like the numbers aren't what they thought they would be for ESPN. Like it was I didn't read the article, but I thought the headline was like WWE numbers with ESPN not as good as they expected. I think is what I saw. So I don't know if you're talking about that kind of thing or
Yes.
is that
So, yeah, as of a couple of days ago, I think 5 days ago to be exact, the analytics firm Antenna reported on ESPN's new streaming platform that the subscription service had 2.1 million new users sign up during the first 30 days after its August 21st launch. That figure doesn't account for, does not include accounts that come, for now, with the cable or satellite TV bundle and bring in $30 per month or 300 per year. Somewhere they are roughly saying somewhere in the neighborhood of 630 million in annual revenue. Now, Uncle Dave went and got involved, and he attributed 100,000 to 125,000 of those signups to WWE's first PLE on ESPN WrestlePalooza. So he thinks only 100 to 125,000 of those 2.1 were for WWE's WrestlePalooza. Okay. I mean, I guess I could see it, right? Because you get every college sport there is. And would it be in primetime college football season? That's probably, if you're talking priorities, it's probably the college sports over professional wrestling, is what I would say. Would you agree?
yeah.
Okay. So going on from that, he said that would be between 30 to 37.5 million per year for ESPN. And Meltzer uses 35 million for his calculations, saying if every month ends up kind of like this one, it's worth 35 million a year, and they're spending 325 million a year for 35 billion a year of revenue coming from from having these WWE events, which is very bad. Thanks, Dave. Um, so I guess with Dave talking out about it, a bigger name, seen as one of the wrestling journalists. I don't know if they see him with respect or not, but that's a different story for a different podcast. He's been talking about it, I guess, and obviously with him talking about it, ESPN felt like they had to come out and talk about it, and they said things are going very well, and we have started strong. We don't provide the viewership specifics, but things have been going very well. And then Dave came out and said, um, and he explained it. That's why these companies are losing lots of money on this type of stuff, with the idea that down the road, when we get 50 million subscribers paying $30, we'll be able to afford all of this. So that's his thoughts. So if this continues, as you run the operating cost and revenue for your own business, what are your thoughts? Because my finance background says I won't be surprised in a year and a half from now if we hear about a buyout and they go their separate ways.
Yeah, maybe, right? Like, I think it's possible. I mean, obviously, it all depends on the contract, but
Yeah,
how it reads. But yeah, maybe cut and run.
yeah,
I mean, I think too, like they're gonna have to wait till WrestleMania
yeah.
to see how
The
that
bigger
plays
ones.
out.
Yep.
Like, or yeah, or maybe, well, Survivor Series maybe, but Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, like they got to see what they figure out. Like that might change.
Yeah, they'll probably. I suspect they'll see a decent bump for Survivor Series. Because don't forget, there's a lot of people that will only turn into WWE to watch the big 4 or 5, right? Because now they can afford it if they couldn't as a kid. If they have a Fios TV package, or if they have Hulu, it's like I do, like it's included. So it's really not costing you anything for how much you already spend, right? Like, so it's like, if that's the case, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, and it's crazy because it's it's crazy because I feel like we called this, or like a portion of this, like just looking at the deal when we originally talked the financials when they were originally published. Like, I feel like we were saying, yeah, we get it, but you're asking people to spend $300 a year in already a tough economy. That's, some people are paying that $300 just to keep their heat or their electric on, right? And if you're trying to afford wrestling for your kids, Peacock's going to look a lot better at $9.99 a month with commercials than $300 for the year are going to look, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's yeah, it's nuts. I have a bad feeling about this. I really do. I don't know if they make it through. And not even on that end. Like, you saw what my dad had to go through to try and get the app added to his package, even though it's a free app. Like, if you didn't have it on your phone right away, do you know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't have been into it. So, like, you're you're having, like, if you're on Files, you actually have to go into your online account through your computer, because they won't let you do it through a phone. Add the app to your current TV package, even though it's free. Purchase it through that account. Then it shows up. Then you have to log in all over again. Like, if the smallest hiccup happens where that goes down or something, or like it doesn't store the password and you have to do it through the QR code again, there's going to be a a bunch of people that say screw it, I'll just catch the highlights. Right? They're not going to want to do that every time.
Right. No, it totally is.
So, I don't know, man. I You're going into this deal, were you expecting better? Like just when the financials came out, or you still think it's too early?
I think it's too early, but I thought it probably. Well, I think the real issue is like I think it's too early because I also think too like they started with a nothing show in the end,
Yep.
right? Like that part's dumb. Like you announce a deal, it's supposed to start 2026, and then a few weeks later, a month later, whatever it was, you go, "Oh, just kidding. We're starting next month and it's going to be a show called WrestlePalooza." And you know, I don't know, for me, a little bit of a like gimmicky, corny name, and it's not like a crazy card in the end, and it's a random September PLE. So I don't know. What did you know? What did you think? Like, what did you expect? Like, honestly, probably should have kept it as Royal Rumble being the first 2 weeks
Agreed.
through the end.
Build the buzz, right?
Right. And like, yeah, you're not gonna get the subscribers for a few months, but the deal wasn't supposed to start till 2026. So you started it early, so I guess too that's a little bit to me too like this is all you know play or streaming that you weren't planning on doing in the first place. So I'm not saying it's a bonus because obviously they just probably agreed to start the contract a little bit early, but you could look at it that way. Like you're kind of like working with production and shows you didn't expect to work with. So I don't know. I think like it's too early, and this is a bad example.
Yeah,
Uh,
I I'm in agreement that planning could have been better,
they
right?
should have made it a bigger. Yeah, it should have been a bigger thing, and it should have stayed.
Yeah, I agree with the bigger show, and I think that would have gave ESPN extra time to work out all the kinks,
Yeah,
right?
and do more marketing and more cross promotion um, and like you said, build up to it being Royal Rumble. Like the road to WrestleMania starts on ESPN, like right, like the marketing rights itself. Uh, but they didn't do that.
No, they kind of just
So
rushed it to get the paycheck, right? Like,
I mean, so WrestlePalooza was September 20th, and August 6th was when they announced the deal, right, or whatever, right. So
yeah, sounds about right.
they went on August 6th saying starting in 2026, ESPN premium live WWE premium live events are headed to ESPN. And then the launch of the ESPN, the new version of the ESPN app was August 21st. And then it wasn't long after that you're like, "Oh, by the way, WWE's done with Peacock now, so we're going to start this." And it's just disgrace.
Yeah. No, I,
I mean, I hold to now for it's still a little too early, but I get it's always concerning, but I just think it's probably unfair because you probably were looking at it to say Royal Rumble, tentpole show, big huge show. Uh, that's going to be our first one, and everything changes.
yeah,
So, but by next year's WrestleMania, like I'm sure these articles will be refreshed and renewed, and we'll see what it looks like then.
yeah. Yeah, it's wild.
Back to the Royal Rumbles in Riyadh this year.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I feel like it could have built itself. Like if you give ESPN all this time, you put their marketing force and your marketing force behind it, saying, "Listen, this is going to be our big take-home show. We'll build our storylines to this so that you have the best of the best. Let's make sure this goes off without a hitch. Fix all the account logins, QR code issues, sound issues with its streaming, whatever. Make sure this is picture perfect for our one of our premier events." And I feel like it would have been a lot better. Um, and you also wonder if Vince would have did it this way too, right? Like sometimes think about that, like kind of just like, all right, if Vince was still in charge, what would have Vince do? But it's like, to be honest, I don't think WWE would have ever got this far in a deal like this. I don't think he would have ever signed.
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't think so. I think he would have been like he would have just died at his desk, writing storylines. You know what I mean? Like that's just who he was. Um, a little bit more data. So from June 9th, 2025 to October 20th, 2025, uh, what do you think the highest amount of global views Raw hit between that time period?
I don't even know where I would start to take a guess on that. Global views?
Yeah, for where it stands on Netflix overall.
I don't know. I have no idea.
3 million for the 8-4 show, which the 8-4 show was Seth Rollins retaining the heavyweight championship over LA Knight via disqualification. And then that also had the brawl where Roman Reigns, LA Knight, Punk, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and Seth all got involved. That's how that show ended. That show, if you were thinking of a rank between 1 through 10, Dan, where do you think that show ranked weekly for Netflix's global rankings?
I would think kind of low, but isn't it though?
It ranked fifth globally. The hours viewed were 6.1 million. Where do you think it ranked for the U.S. Weekly ranked?
Well, that'll go. I would think. I would think it would be better. No, it'd be better than fifth.
It's actually six. It actually dropped a spot.
Oh, they had to drop off in the United States.
So the last three shows,
Is that live viewers or just all viewers?
this is just where it ranks with all views
Okay. I was
from.
gonna say like
Yeah,
that would make sense to me if there was a drop in live because like I'm one of them. I rarely watch
yeah,
live.
yeah. So the global views are defined as accounts watching on an average throughout the duration of the program. This is similar to a worldwide DVR plus 7 household measurement. Um, Hours viewed divided by runtime does not consistently reconcile to Netflix reports of global views. Netflix stated that this is because the runtime for Raw changes when live versus when it's viewed on demand. So the last three shows for on Raw, Netflix global ranked 6, 8, and 9. The US rankings 4, 6, and 6. So a little bit better than the global ranking. 5.1 million hours viewed for the October 20th show. 5.2 on September 1st show. Yeah, so I mean, and the runtime The longest Raw yet on Netflix was the September 1st show, 126 minutes. Can I tell you, this is the first time I think we've seen any evidence of Netflix stats for anything in the world. Like, you never see this put together for any comedy specials or for like any movies. They rarely. So it's quite interesting that WrestleNomics has been able to figure this out. Obviously, dude knows what he's doing, so check him out. But yeah, crazy man. It'll be interesting to see where this is. Getting into holiday time, right? You think this drops significantly, or you think this increases?
I think it drops.
Bad.
I
You
think
think it drops out of the top 10?
I don't know about the top 10, but
Top 10 globally?
I think it hovers around the top 10, like the bottom of the top 10. Like I think it hovers in the 9 to 12 range, probably, just depending, right? Like, but I think you know after let's say Thanksgiving is the marker and you're running to Christmas and New Year's, it's like a lot going on.
Yeah.
Like I mean, maybe you'll catch it later, maybe you won't care as much because
Yeah.
you're busy during the holidays, right?
Yeah.
Unless the shows are super intriguing, then
Yeah. You think it hovers around top 10 globally or for the US rank? I think you see a drastic drop. I think you see it falls outside the top 10 for the US ranking before you see it fall outside the top 10 globally.
I think they'll stay pretty in line with each other like they are now. I think they'll both drop about the same percentage.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's um so that's definitely something to follow up on for sure that I will still be subscribed to cuz it's just interesting how he pulls all this together. But that October 20th show had 2.6 million views through 7 days. So they are counting a full 7-day period. So, interesting, interesting, interesting. All right. And final headline I wanted to bring to you. About 7 days ago. Yeah. Now, from time to time, Dan, I like to go down the old, some would say, alleged conspiracy route, right? Some would say the believers that make the non believers actually fall in line. You know what I'm saying about this, Dan? And sometimes I have to turn into some of the darkest places on earth to get this fixed. And I'm not talking about Reddit. I'm talking about the wrestling podcast, Writing with Russo. Did you see what he said on his episode about John Cena? Besides the bro counter going 12 times within this segment? Well, bro, let me tell you, bro. He's hearing John Cena is very unhappy, does not like the way this retirement thing has gone down. It is not to his liking. Cena is not satisfied with it. He is very disappointed. I've heard there's actually been contact between John Cena's camp and AEW camp. I don't either.
I don't care. I don't buy that for 1 second. There's no way.
If it means we have to lose our podcast so Vince Russo can never podcast again, I volunteer his tribute at this point, then. Because I can no longer go on with. And I don't even tune into the stuff regularly. It just finds me like a bad hemorrhoid or something. It just. His podcast always finds its way onto my thread. And I feel gross after watching it. I feel like I gotta go take a cold shower or something. There is no way in hell Vince McMahon's number one guy, who's called himself the WWE guy, is going to say, Tony, I don't like what they're doing. How about I make the jump and we go make history? That's not happening, correct?
That is not happening. It's just not happening.
Like,
It makes zero sense. It makes zero sense.
like it's almost
Even
like,
if he was unhappy with it, which I don't know that I buy that. But even if he was, there's no way he just decides like, hey, let's try AEW. Like for what too? For
for Kenny
a
Omega.
few for a few months. Well, I wasn't even thinking that, but like for a few months of chatter of like how it's potentially one of the bigger defections ever in wrestling. Like certainly since the Monday Night Wars, the biggest defection of a talent. Um, but yeah, that the next part you hit on it. Then what? Kenny,
Yeah, that's,
right?
yeah,
Like
MJF.
and so what?
So,
MJF, so what? Like
what are they making the trade for? The Jericho trade for this? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not even worth. It's not even worth like theorizing what you would do if it was true because there's
no,
just no way.
no, it's,
If he was truly that unhappy, they just he would just talk to them and they would make adjustments. Certainly, if they thought he was going to leave to go to AEW, which is highly doubt that they have that sort of like issue that they're actually faced with, they would just make it right. Crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy that we've talked about it for this long. That's how bad it is.
yeah, it has to be one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. It's stupider than Vince replacing Diesel with another Diesel that looked nothing like Diesel. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
All right, on to the wrestling now. Before Vince Russo just finds his way into our dreams and his brain rot. Um. So yeah. So I think that was the secret reveal that we talked about prior to the podcast. Dan, was that table of Roman, Cody, Brock, and Punk sitting around a poker table with Hunter standing at the edge of it and Paul standing behind him. Because there's a lot of feedback saying this was a waste of everybody's time. Um, if that's the reveal, do you think there's a swerve coming where like they just put out that image? Obviously, that's for WrestleMania, right? Like that's because that's where it is
Like
next.
back to Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah. So are we getting Punk, Brock, Cody, Roman 3? And Paul's in charge of both of these matches? First of all, does any of that. First of all, if those are the two big matches, are those the main events for each night?
I don't know. Like I guess seemingly like they would be, but it's very odd this early to drop this
That's what I'm saying.
and like have
And does Paul pick a side?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, well, so Cody doesn't 100% fit in with Paul in this picture, but obviously the other three do. So I don't know.
But there are ties to Cody from Cody's father with Paul. Because we did have
I
that,
know there's
right? So it's like,
I know there's ties there, but there's
yeah,
not
no,
like there's
right. There's not a
siblings,
direct,
obviously.
right.
Right. Yeah, the direct
Yep.
direct tie to it.
Yeah, the direct
So
correlation. Yep, I get it.
I don't know what they're doing there. So um yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Strange, right?
Yeah. My guess is we're gonna get some more, like this that are gonna drop. There'll probably be a women's version maybe, and there'll be a mixed version. I don't know. You know.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, I. And then just follow up to that. Does any of those matches excite you?
um, Not until I know a little bit more about what their goal might be with them. I mean, Cody Roman 3. I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be good. Rock Punk. I mean, I'm not overly excited today. Like if that just hearing it that way, but not sure what the story could be. Is there a like fatal four way in the mix here with the four of them? That'd be interesting. Multiple titles on the line, fatal four way maybe. I don't know. That could be real interesting.
Yeah.
I doubt it's a tag team. I hope it's not a tag team.
Well, the good news is our favorite Western New York rapper stopped by to buy billboards this week, and he was on a wrestling podcast, which I don't know if you caught him. He bought his WrestleMania suites in the 100 level for this already, supposedly. Guess how much they cost?
A suite for
Sweet.
WrestleMania? I don't even know. $500,000.
He said 24,000 a suite.
Oh,
No, that's still not the food and everything with it. That's after.
right.
But just to reserve two of them that face the ring. So shout out Westside Gun. If you need people to fill the suite, I'm sure I can get free that weekend. Um, and I know a billboard guy, so we can make something happen here. Um, but yeah, crazy. I don't know how I feel about any of that because I think, like you said, a lot of it is dependent on the storylines that build up to it. But Brock Punk is not believable to me if it's one on one because at this age, Brock looks like he could still choke a horse. Where Punk shows up in his sweatpants that are tucked into his socks in his hokas, like he looks fragile almost sometimes when he comes to the ring. Um, so not a great look, but we'll see. We'll see. Still plenty of time to build, and we will build. So let's talk about Raw, Dan, and then we can jump to Saturday Night Main Event and make some predictions. All right, let's see here. Let's see. So obviously started off as Jay coming out, doing his thing. Punk comes out to do his thing. Punk steals the old running back thing to play cult of personality again, which I found hysterical. So
Yeah,
good on Punk.
funny.
I may be one of those people that are sick of Jey Uso. What are your thoughts?
Right? I'm not sick of them yet, but you know, we'll see how it goes. I'm not sick of them.
They did increase the Make a Wish events that he's been doing. That's usually the first sign that they're getting ready to make you the top guy.
Maybe. I'd be surprised. I think it's going to be Punk.
I hope it's Punk too. I think it's more sour on how they let the last Jay run end than Jay himself, if that makes sense. Because I don't know if they ever truly had a good storyline for him to keep retaining. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I think that's part of the problem. Is like they see him as a stopgap guy rather than the guy. And if you're gonna put a title on him, then you have to give him time to grow into that guy, right? I mean, Jesus Christ, everybody loves the promos that Drew McIntyre is doing now. Not that this is the same category, but how many times did Vince have to walk Drew out to the ring to get the crowds to stop booing at him? At least Jay has some pop to him, right? He's still white out in every stadium or arena that he goes to. The crowds are still 1,000% behind him. But I think it's, now that I'm saying this out loud to you, let me rephrase this. I think I'm sick of the way Triple H, the director of physical activity for the United States public schools, is treating Jey Uso at this time. I think my beef is with Hunter and not Jay, because I don't think he has it in him as a creative director to make a story fulfilling enough for Jay to stay as champion. I think Punk can do it by himself on his own. Do you agree with that? I don't know. And then we had the IC number one contender match where we had three El Grande Barricanos come out and get involved. So the DQ match, no contest. So now Dom has a triple threat, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm actually looking forward to that. So that's pretty cool. Who do you think? You know what? Yeah, we could talk about that when we get there. Then we had Roxanne and Nikki Bella. Roxanne, the prodigy, won by basically throwing Nikki's fragile neck into the ring post and getting a pin off of that. Seems to be a big feud brewing between Stephanie Vaquer and Raquel Rodriguez. My money's on that's going to be a main event at a AAA show, if not the next AAA show.
Oh, yeah, that could be. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that would be good.
Right.
I'm sure that would go over real well.
Yeah, I think about professional wrestling way too much, Dan. I realized that today. Then we had the Braun Breaker with Bronson Reed and Paul Heyman versus LA Knight. The spear that Braun Breaker put on LA Knight in this match. Did you watch this one? Did you get the shot to watch this? Did it not look like it killed him? And the way his head hit?
Just when I think too, he can't do a spear that looks more devastating.
Jesus.
He does.
Do you know how, like, Little Loop football coaches have to take the tackle and dummy to and from practice? Do you think Braun Breaker has a tackling dummy in his, like, apartment? And he's just, right? Like, because that's the only thing that makes sense. Because these spears, he's getting more and more horizontal with the x-axis of the Earth right now. The way he's full on Supermaning all these, it's ridiculous, ridiculous, and his head cracked hard. Um, Sheamus and JD McDonough was very good. Uh, JD looked very good in this match. Looked like he had to carry Sheamus a little bit because Sheamus, big boy, getting tired, but JD was very good in this match. Glad to see him get the W. And I had to explain to my wife why sometimes JD takes the signs out of the arena that call him Lord Farquhar from Shrek.
Farquad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Farquaad from Shrek. Um, because of the size of his head, and she thought that was hysterical. So 1 point for the wrestling gods, making her laugh. Um, yeah, and then we had, which I'll go out and say it. I know I'll catch crap when this gets published to Twitter and YouTube. You had Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley and Lyra, not including Bloodline stuff. So the 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 War Game stuff from start to finish in WWE for the year 2025. From a wrestling perspective, I don't think you can find a better tag match in WWE from 2025 than what was ending the show on Monday night.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I certainly can't think of one. So yeah, I would agree. I hadn't really thought about it, but it was very good.
I mean,
Can't tell you a different one.
the only crap I saw in this was there is too many false finishes, but I felt they did the false finishes the right way in this. Because every false finish, you saw one more person in the crowd stand up, and then another stand up, because they were feeling like they're on edge, right? If you're just doing false finishes to do false finishes, the crowd's going to see through that really quick. And it helps that it's believable that if anybody can beat Charlotte Flair and Bliss, it's Lyra and Bayley. Like, it's believable that those two would be the next women's tag teams. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they're dropping to an NXT team.
Right. Right.
And I know I've said this for a while. Charlotte looked old and slow. This looks like Charlotte from 4 or 5 years ago. She was flawless in this match. Absolutely flawless. And I know I've been talking a lot of shit on her, but she looked absolutely flawless in this match. Um, yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought this was at least an 8 out of 10 Raw. I think this is one of the better Raws that like we've had recently. That didn't involve like Bloodline. That didn't involve because you got a pop from Roman. I thought the Punk and Jay stuff was done great at the beginning of the show, so then you could still continue to build the show with the matches that you had planned, with the backstage promos that you had planned, with the bump ins, with the crossover. Like, that all made sense, right? Um, the only bad thing about this show is I start to tear up every time that I hear AJ Styles says 2026 is going to be his last year.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy that we're losing John and then we're losing AJ in the next year. You think AJ's first ballot Hall of Famer? Like, right away he goes in?
I don't know about right away.
Does
Oh, first ballot in that sense. Yeah.
yeah? Does TNA have their own Hall of Fame?
Yeah. I believe so. Uh, I thought they did. Uh, Established in 2012. Ceremony takes place prior to Bound for Glory. They've only inducted 16 total, 13
Yeah.
of them individually. So let's see. So it's Sting, Kurt Angle, Jeff Jarrett,
Yep.
Earl Hebner, Gail
Yep.
Kim, Abyss, Ken Shamrock, Awesome Kong, Raven, Tracy Brooks, Rhino, Bob Ryder, Mickey James, and then a couple of groups. So he's
He's.
not in it yet, but I'm sure he will be.
Do you think WWE lets them do it first, then he gets the WWE one?
Um,
Because if you think of TNA nonstop action, is he not? Is he not top two of who you think of? Bless you, there, sir. Is he? Is he not top two? He has to be top two,
I
right?
think he is. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Who would you
Well,
put over him?
actually, I don't think I don't know who I would put over him right in WWE or TNA.
Sorry, for TNA. Would you like? He has to be the guy of TNA, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean they've put several people over him, but I guess
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I mean, I don't understand putting Ken Shamrock in over him, but
yeah,
or Raven over him, but whatever.
yeah. But
Um,
yeah, that depends. Yeah, I mean,
I
it's
think
yeah.
I think
Like if you think of TNA,
actually
he's the first
they might
face,
put
right?
they might put the Hardy Boys in over him
Oh,
first. They might do the Hardy Boys first.
oh, that'll piss me off.
Yeah, I mean for them though, right? Like obviously they had their moments with Sting and Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett are all in there because they had their moments with TNA. But then the next big push, well not big push, but the next big thing that they did, not big, the big thing they did with the push with Matt Hardy and all this stuff.
Sure. Okay.
I think they might put them in first. AJ was still a little bit younger, maybe with some of that. So, yeah, I don't think there's the Hardy Boys might be the only ones that I think TNA would consider, putting in. I don't know if they would get cute and do Hogan posthumously. Maybe, but that would be more of a memorial thing than it would be saying that it's better than him. Um,
Can you? Yeah. Go on.
yeah, I can see it. Yeah, what you just shared, I can see it. Well, sort of. I can't read it, but I can see what you mean.
Let's see if this helps. Does that help at all?
Yeah, it does.
Look at this resume.
Yeah,
That is insane.
they're
No, it's
dominant.
insane. Like I knew it was a lot, but this is insane.
Yeah,
Like I forgot he was the PWG champion for 126 days. That's hysterical to me because I love PWG. Yeah, this is just. I guess. So the way that I was thinking about this, right? If somebody asked me about TNA, the first two names I'm thinking of, not in any distinct order, is AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. Who would you think of? Yeah. Would there be anybody else? Would you think back to like the Eric Bischoff stuff in there? Would you think back to the Hogan stuff in there? Probably Perk Angle, right? Like when he was taking the pills and doing backflips off of everything.
yeah. I mean, he's already in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but just in general, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, look, I guess overall when I think of TNA, I will think of the time when they just were getting all the WWE and WCW guys, right? Like, so you have, and they're in a lot of different, they have their own little mini eras, right? So you have the Hogan Sting Angle Flair era. You have then some of the younger guys. You have an era with a little bit of some of the younger guys, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles. Some others that are escaping my mind now, but guys that weren't WWE guys, right? You have that too. Then you have yeah, you have a little bit back to Bischoff, Hogan, bit of like a Jeff Jarrett era, but I guess that kind of melds like a lot with what was going on with the other big guys. Um, and mixed in there too, you had essentially the NWO.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a good point.
um, you know, so you've got all these different like little time periods and stuff. So I kind of think of all of them, and then for a long time too, you had like Bobby Lashley was the face of the company. Maybe probably not the highest rated of those periods, but he was a big player for them for a long time. Uh, yeah, and then you have like the post Matt Hardy stuff, mixed in there, and then now you get into some of what they've got going on like just before making the deal with WWE. Uh, Moose, right? A few others. Jordan Grace, right? Like you have all that. So yeah, TNA breakdown. Like it's funny because TNA definitely has like a lot of like small eras of like pockets of like some good stuff and some name brand stuff
For sure.
that never became like huge, but was consistently there and people knew about it. So yeah, it's interesting to see um,
Jordan
about that.
Jordan Grace is a good call out. Like
Yeah,
just a great call out.
yeah.
I
So
think yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, and then you have so now you have the deal with WWE, and there's a lot of crossover, and that brings a whole new element, and that's been helping with the rise of like Team Henry, and then even having Trick Williams be a part of that, holding a belt, things like that, trading the belt a little bit. They even, I mean, they even had that short stint with doing some AEW crossover. So it's
Yeah,
always such an interesting, someday there will be like a big, huge retrospective, like case study on TNA, and it's staying power.
I can't wait.
Like we talk about it all the time. Like Bischoff talks about it all the time too. Like, look, TNA was never the true number two, and they always like tried to be like figured they could be the number one, and they went through so many trial and error and so many like failures, but never went away, right? Like, and had at one time or another had ridiculous talent that just wasn't mainstream and or mainstream enough, let's say. So it would be interesting someday to kind of see that case study of how TNA stayed relevant through reinventing itself 1,000 times. I mean, if you listen to, I haven't listened to it in forever, but when you listen to like Jeff Jarrett's podcast, if that's even still going, like all of his stuff about TNA, and then like even when they went through all the ownership changes, and then he was doing his like G Force now, and he partnered up with them, and all this different stuff. Like they've just reinvented so many times, and they just brought in name after name after name, and they did it all in that sense. And like I said, they were never a true number two, or I guess maybe by default they were a number two for a while, but never went away either. And have such a good like base to give us.
Yeah, yeah. I've been thinking about, like just a lot about what AJ's done, and which has caused me to use them more and more on the 2K25 video game as well. Just because I think he has to be. I don't know. If you were talking Mount Rushmore outside of wrestling, I think I like outside of the WWE, just wrestling in general. I think I have him on that for me. But side note, another forum argument that I got in that I want to get your perspective on. I know you didn't watch a lot of the New Japan stuff. Like Cena said, the originator of the Bullet Club. Do you give AJ credit for that based on everything that you know about New Japan? Based on everything that you've read?
Creator. I guess I haven't read enough to be able to say I know the originator. I know he was like a big part of like when he was the leader of it, but I also like I do just again from some limited knowledge of it, just also always think of Finn when I think of AJ.
Prince Devitt, yeah, Prince Devitt at the time. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, right. And then I certainly like know a little bit more about some of like the cross, some of the turmoil with Cody and all those guys, and Kenny. So
Yeah, so I they trace some of it back to being like Prince Devitt because like the way he started it for like his early partners in Bad Luck Fell and Carl Anderson and Tamatonga. So like I guess originator might not be the best term I used, but what did Cena call him? Um, Cena called him what? Uh, the ultimate boss of the Bullet Club or something like that. I
the ace and undisputed boss of Bullet Club.
yeah, there you go. I think I have to agree with him.
Yeah,
I don't think it gets that big without AJ. Because AJ was huge over there. AJ was it over there for a period of time, and he still is, right? Like he cried after the last Japan show when he said goodbye. Um, I mean, for instance, like going back to his title list, AJ Styles won the IWGP in his very first match with that promotion. Very first match, that's what he walks away with. I I don't know. I don't know, man. I just it's crazy. That's the other thing that we knew is that we need books on New Japan wrestling as well. Like I know there's Lion Pride, it's called, or Lion's Pride. It's like a history of New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I'm not sure like how much it gets into that. Um, I know New Japan put out their own like English version of a book, but we need something like that to talk about these guys. Just something. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It is crazy. Oh, AJ Styles does have his own book. Interesting. Oh, gonna have to get that for the wrestling shelves. Um, gonna have to do it, Dan. That's how we roll over here. But yeah, let's get to Saturday night main event and see if there's anything else you want to talk about after that. But here we go. So correct me if I'm wrong. There's only 4 matches. Does that sound appropriate?
I think that's right for Saturday night's main event. It's going to be a hard 2 hour out, so I think you could really do more than 4 to 5. Yeah, 5
Wait, what is this?
matches are.
Let me pull it up because some of these predictions are just terrible. Um,
Yeah, I don't think you can put a fifth one on with the 4 matches that we just
no.
said.
So 4 matches so far: Punk versus Jay, vacant World Heavyweight Championship match. Cody versus Drew, undisputed WWE Championship match. Tiffany versus Jade for the Women's Championship match in the IC Triple Threat match. Which one do you think goes the longest?
Probably toss up between Punk and Jay and the triple threat.
Okay. If you were booking this, how do you book this?
Well, a 2 hour show, 15, 20. I think Punk and Jay are going to go the longest. And then the triple threat is below that, Cody and Drew. And then I think the women's match will be, not that it'll be short, but it will be the shortest. So sorry, what was the question?
Um, I said if you were booking this, how would you line this up out of these four?
Um, I would do the women's match first. I would do Cody Drew next. I would do the triple threat, and then I would do Punk first. I would start.
Very interesting. I would start Triple Threat, Tiffany and Jade, Cody and Drew, and then Punk and Jay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all championship matches, so it's like it's hard to say if they don't.
Yeah, right. Um, I guess so. Who do you think wins the IC title? You think Dom retains
No, I think he's going to drop it.
to
He's got the other. Right.
Penta?
I think he gets it.
I think Dom retains, but I think Penta finds a way to challenge him for the AAA title. At least that's how I fantasy booked it on 2K25. Jade or Tiffy? Who do you have?
Tiffy. I think Tiffy.
You don't think it's really? You think they'd ever get beat again?
Yep.
Oh wow! I thought this was it for Tiffy.
I think they're setting it up for again. I just not sure, but
Beats her
I
clean?
think they're setting it up again. Uh,
Like
that part I'm not sure, but yeah, that part I'm not sure.
that's so interesting to me. Yeah, you know what? I'm on the hype train. Tiffy it is. Tiffy it
I just
is.
think they're not doing it here. I do think they're going to do it, give it to Jade eventually. I just don't think they're going to do it here.
That's fair. Um, Cody and Drew.
Cody, for sure. I mean, I'm not really super interested in this match, but I think Cody. I think it's Cody.
I think Drew with assistance from Randy Orton. I think Randy gets involved and it costs Cody the title.
Cody.
And then that kind of starts the small bickering back and forth between them.
Right.
Um, and then I guess the vacant. What do we think happens here?
I mean, for me, it's Punk. I
Yeah.
I just don't see why they wouldn't have it be Punk.
Do you? I know Paul's told Braun to wait till the Monday after this. Do you foresee Braun waiting that long to get involved?
Um,
Or do you think they're
yeah.
ringside
I think this
watching? Or
show. I think this show just ends. I think the show ends with Punk in the middle of the ring like he did at WrestleMania or whatever, SummerSlam, whatever it was, right? SummerSlam, I guess. Um, I think this ends with him holding up the title, and that's it. I don't think they do anything there.
Hmm. I think it's Punk too, but I think we get the Vision somehow. I think even if they're just outside watching the match, I think they're just. I just think they play up the fact that Braun Breaker is like waiting to pounce. So if Punk wins, like I wouldn't be surprised if Punk wins and then Braun pops in the ring and just hits him with a spear, and then he got broken ribs again. Do you think they have Punk drop on Monday night to Braun?
No.
What do you
Only
think
if
they let Punk carry?
Yeah, I think they let him carry for a while. Uh, I really do. I obviously they had a plan with Seth, and karma bit him. So I think they're giving it to Punk to carry for a while.
Do you think LA Knight gets a shot before we see Punk versus Braun?
Well, they both allegedly have a claim to it, right? So
Yeah.
I wonder if we get the two of them first, and winner gets.
But isn't that kind of what we had last night on?
Yeah, I guess,
But that
but
wasn't for that, right? Like that was just a
well, yeah,
match.
but it
That
wasn't
doesn't.
for it. Yeah, it wasn't for it specifically, so they could do it again. Say it's a completely different match. Uh,
My only thing is they just keep having LA Knight take these losses. That if they eventually do put a title on him, it's gonna look so stupid. Like it's gonna look so stupid. Like, do I think he's deserving of it? Yeah. If you could give Jay the title for what 2.5 months, 3.5 months, you could do the same thing to LA Knight. Let him drive around with the title in that Slim Jim car that they gave him, right?
yeah, they could.
How do you feel about this? Because this is the first Saturday night main event that's all title matches. Is the throwaway of this Cody Drew?
Probably.
I think so too. I
I mean,
think so
Cody
too.
won,
Yeah,
so it's like, what are we really doing? So
and none of these guys do anything that drag you into it, right? Like if Drew gets beat in that match, do you think he goes and screws over Punk?
I don't know. I don't want to go down that
I don't
road.
either. I don't either. But I'm just throwing it all out there just to spitball this.
I hope not. Yeah, I don't. I don't think so, but I don't know. Really don't know.
And then there's nothing planned, right, for Brock. Like Brock's back, but it
That I'm
just
aware of.
he just squashed Cena, and that was it, right? Yeah, yeah, right. He's involved, and that's it. Yeah. Interesting stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's not the best, right? But it could be a lot worse. Um, I am looking forward to the Saturday night main event because maybe they do have some secrets up there. I do kind of want to see Penta get a title, but I have this weird knot in my stomach that says watch them end up putting the IC title on Rusev. And I'm just want to go, and I'm just gonna want to go home after that happens. I just like not that I don't think his character is compelling. I just don't think he's a guy that you brought back to just put a title on him. Like I think he serves a bigger purpose than the IC title. Right? Like I think he could give John a good match at a house show. Right? Like so I don't know, man. We'll see. But that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully it surprises us and it's a lot better than we expect.
Right. Right now, looking at this, what would you say your guess is of where it ranks? Like out of 10.
Oh, I don't know. I think it might.
Just on
I
paper.
think it might get. I think it might get to 6 or 7, but I hope it's like maybe 8.
You're
I think we're looking more at like a 6 or 7.
you are better than me because I was thinking a 4 or 5.
I mean, I think Cody and Drew brings this down a little, unless it's a really really
A
good match.
lot. Yeah.
The other three matches should be good, and like in general should be good. And I'd like to see Punk win. So if he wins, that'll help. The
Yeah,
triple
that puts it
threat,
at a 5.
yeah, the triple threat should be really good. And Tiffy and Jade can go out there and
Yeah.
definitely have a really good match. And if Jade wins, that's kind of cool too. Like, not my pick for what I think is going to happen, but if she does, it'll be a kind of cool moment. And if it's a good match and she does, then you know you could potentially get to a 6 that way. But like Cody and Drew might be the difference maker there because I think Cody and Drew is potentially bringing what we think it'll be down where the ranking goes. But if they have a really good match or there's some twist to it, like Randy being somehow involved in that would make that much better, right? Because now the match isn't what the purpose was here. It was just to get to Randy, and that'd be cool, right? So we'll see. I mean, but too, when we start to say all this,
Um,
problem.
if nothing exciting like happens, such as Randy for Cody and Drew, is it time to talk about dropping the title from Cody?
Yeah, probably.
Right. Like it's a tough conversation to have with all the Cody diehards. But like, how do you let that title go stale before the World Heavyweight Championship title goes stale? That's supposed to be the title of the company, and it feels like it's been stale. And randomly bringing Roman back, I don't think does anything. You know what I mean?
No, not.
I think it needs a long storyline again before it does something. So yeah, gonna be interesting, man. I always hope for the best with these because I'm glad we have the Saturday night main events back. But man, oh man, I'm hoping for the best. But I say 4 or 5. Dan saying 6. Hopefully he's right, and hopefully I'm completely wrong. But we shall see. That's just tough. Just tough. Yeah, it's not great, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, other than that, anything else you would like to talk about tonight, Dan, besides what's going on NXT right now? Because I have that recording. Anything cross your mind over the last 2 weeks, week and a half that we haven't potted? Anything you want to chit chat about?
Not really. I mean, we're happy to have Paul coming to Buffalo.
Got tickets?
That's great.
Yeah, real quick. When Endeavor said the prices were going to go up, and some people reporting almost double, What do you think that was for the A and B markets? Because Buffalo is what, a top D
I don't
market.
know. Buffalo, I mean, right, our tickets were what, maybe $20 more than last time, and we're sitting in a similar seat. So
Um,
maybe a super big raise, 20, $30, I think we saw.
yeah. My ticket guy said 160.
That we paid last time.
No, he's saying this time.
Okay. I think actually now that then I think we paid like 140 something, I don't know, one like it wasn't that far off from what we're paying now. So yeah, and we're sitting in a very similar seat. So
Yeah, just on the opposite side, right?
I think it's the same side.
Oh, okay.
I think it's the same section, just a different row. But
Yeah.
um
125 per ticket, and then 140 for all the service fees for 4 tickets.
um I yeah, I don't know where that came from then. I guess it would have to be A and B markets, or it would have to be, is it one of those things where premium tickets like quadruple, and so average ticket price doubles or something like that? Like I don't know what it is, but we have not seen it yet. Knock on wood, we have not seen it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if this is what it stays for, you know, for us, I'm all for it. Like, let Buffalo keep these prices. I'm good. I am good. Um, but yeah, so cool. We're going to Raw January 5th. Uh, that weekend they're also in. Shoot, they're also in Rochester. I think the night or two before as well. So it's not a bad drive either. If we got really, really antsy for it, so that works. But yeah, cool. Well, I think that's it for out of the wrestling news. This will be up sometime tomorrow evening on our YouTube channel at A Botch Wrestling Pod, on Instagram as well, and I will be tweeting it out when it goes live. Got a few edits to make, but other than that, we will be good to go. Please feel free to share with your friends. Anytime you do, it does drastically help us in the algorithm that is now controlled by Grok. So that's impossible to tell where we stand with that, and it definitely helps with YouTube as well that I see with the past couple of videos. So appreciate you guys passing those along and the likes that came with them. But until next week, right? Next week work for you, Dan?
Actually, aren't we at Taco Tuesday?
Yeah, so that's right. So probably next Wednesday then. We'll schedule something. Get it in Wednesday, Thursday, and talk about Saturday night main event and Raw from there. But until then, adios, folks. And like I said, hit us with those likes and comments. They drastically help. So thanks again. See ya.